Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now I've been watching some more videos on the Meshtastic subject, and one caught my attention that was done by Noxyman, and it was to do with the SWR of some of these antennas at 868 megs. Now the antenna I've got connected up at the moment is the Paradar antenna that I bought with the rest of my Meshtastic stuff, and the SWR on that, according to my Nano VNA, with it completely straight, is, if I move my hand as far down as possible, so that's not going to interfere with it. Can't see that, can you? There you can. 1.07 to 1. Now if I put the antenna in that position, without bringing up that menu, because I must not bring that up, kind of goes up a bit. So it goes up nearly close to 2 to 1, which for this application isn't really ideal. So I can get my hand as far away from that as possible, because my hand near it is going to influence that reading, and unfortunately this particular Nano VNA has a nasty little trait of where it will bring up that menu even if I don't put pressure on the screen to do that. So I need to get my hand as far away from the antenna as possible, but it will upset the reading, which is very, very difficult to do. But as you can see, it seems to be okay at that frequency. So I'm just going to turn that off, and I'll unscrew the antenna and show you which antenna I'm talking about. Because what Noxyman explained, and something I already knew anyway, was that at these frequencies and the power levels involved, the higher the SWR, the worse the loss is going to be, and you're not really going to get very far. So this is the antenna in question. Got this from Amazon from a link that I think was actually on one of Andy Kirby's videos when I bought the rest of the gear. And now we're going to find out exactly whereabouts the thing's operating a little bit later in this video, because it should be operating around about 868 megs. I'm going to power this up. I'll power it up with the USB cable, not the battery. I will have to probably charge that battery at some point, but at the moment I'm just going to power it with the USB cable and look at it off the SDR. I do have the SDR in here, and there is an antenna on it. It's not the antenna for that frequency, but it's an antenna nonetheless. Now, my Heltec LoRa32 came with this little antenna, and these are, bring it back in, supposedly not that great on that frequency. So let's put this back on a minute. That'll be on 27 megs, so I'll put it back to where I should have it. Yeah, allegedly these aren't great. This is giving me a funny waveform as well on the old. Just move my hand out the way. Well, that one. If I get my hand out of the way. Okay, phone was ringing there, so I had to stop for that. So this is coming out at 2.3 to 1, so that's not really ideal. I'm not going to find out where that's resonant. That's not important. So let's get rid of that, and we'll get this off the screen. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and set up the equipment. Now I've obviously got to connect the antenna. So I'm just going to sit down without knocking the camera. The antenna, as a little patch lead thing here, is already connected. And there's the little board. I mean, I could just keep it in the phone, but I shouldn't need to do that. And I'll just have to pinch the USB cable off the VNA, because that was charging the VNA. So I'm just going to put it down for the moment while I attach the antenna. Right, I had to stop again because of the phone. And now we're going to power up this. Now I've attached the antenna to it, because it's not really meant to power it up without the antenna connected. Now I've not powered this up in a while, but you know, it's not going to go bang or anything because there's no way that it's been stood that long. Okay, so it's now powered up. It's kind of upside down. It's on the desk just out of shot, which is fine. So I'm just going to balance that there, and I need to log into my computer, and you're not allowed to see that either, which is why I'm going to keep the camera where it is. Okay, I haven't plugged the SDR in yet, because that's the next thing I need to do. The SDR has a clone of a Nagoya and a 771 screwed straight into the top of it, pretty much. So that's the SDR I'll be using. Nuelec SDR Smart. Let's make sure I plug it into the computer the right way around. There we go. And on the computer, it requires me to load GQRX. Now there is another 868 megs device in my house, and that's my boiler thermostat. So provided it's not... There we go. Provided it's not doing anything, then it shouldn't have any bearing on this. So let's swing the camera up so we can now see the computer screen. Uh-oh. The Meshtastic device has just landed on the floor. So I'm going to have to pick that up quickly before it sets fire to the carpet, which it shouldn't do, but it does get quite hot, I have noticed that. So let's put it back there. So I've got the SDR up. Okay, that actually stopped the video completely despite the fact I pressed the pause button. So I've got the SDR. There might be some other things on there as well. There's a bit of interference, I think, from my eye gate as well, because I'm that close to it, which just means it's just gonna... So that Meshtastic device doesn't appear to be doing anything. So we'll just pause the video while I see if I can configure that. I'm not sure if it's actually configured to talk through my phone, which is going to be a struggle because people are calling me. I do have the Meshtastic app on here. It says disconnected though, so I'm not sure if it's actually going to connect to the device. Yeah, it has connected, by the looks of it. I think. Has it connected? Well, it's showing it on my Meshtastic app anyway. No, it hasn't connected. Yeah, I might actually have to do it on the computer. So if you just bear with me while I do that. Okay, so I've got it going on here. So messages, map. The map's not quite in the place it should be, which is a bit interesting. This has got a fixed location anyway. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with the map there. It's just... So configuration... Various configuration settings. So I've got the device to do what I want it to do. Appears that was when I was last experimenting with this. These aren't local to me, half of these. In fact, nearly all of them aren't local to me. In fact, that was when I enabled this to put out on... I'm just trying to think what the name of the main channel is. I cannot remember what that is off the top of my head. Been a while since I've done this. I want to try and set this up so it's going to send something out now and again. Yeah, there's the MQTT, which is what I had turned on. So that should make it now transmit and receive. So let's go back to the SDR. Okay, and that's 868, and that's this device transmitting and receiving. So if I shut it down by pressing a button on the device, that will then stop the transmissions, and that means the 868 megs band will therefore be relatively quiet until it starts back up again. Now it has to connect to my Wi-Fi network in order to do that. There we go. It starts back up again. And I should be able to demonstrate that if I bring the device up into the camera shot, so you can see the antenna there and the device there. The device is just out of focus. You can see the SDR in the background still. That's also slightly out of focus. If I press the reset button, as you can see, at the same time, the transmission stopped. But as soon as it comes back up, so I've got MQTT enabled, it's now just going to start transmitting as soon as it receives anything. So it's pretty wide spectrum by the looks of it. I'm not sure if I can zoom out on that. So FFT settings, frequency zoom. No, that's as far zoomed out as I can get. Yeah, so it is quite wide spectrum, which is quite interesting. But I think that might also be partly down to the fact I'm pretty close to it anyway. So that was quite interesting to look at, the antenna SWR and how it transmits. And now I've got to try and turn it off. I think you press and hold that. I think. No, it's press and hold that one. I think it's, yeah, it's press and hold that, I think, to turn it off. Or, well, yeah, there is a key, press to shut it down. I'm going to just disconnect it from there as it is. I think there might be a bit of other transmissions going on there as well. So I was just have a look at that, and next thing I hope to do is get it all boxed up. So I've got a choice, can either 3D print a case, which I don't want to do because that won't be very waterproof, or get a waterproof enclosure, drill a hole in for the antenna connection, because I want to run it with a solar panel on the window ledge just behind me. So that was a look at the Meshtastic device. A little bit of inspiration from Noxyman there to suggest that it's probably a good idea to check the SWR of those antennas. That Paradar one, I had no way that it would be bad, no way of knowing it would be bad, but thanks to Noxyman's information, I was able to stick it on a VNA, and these Paradar antennas are perfectly fine. I'd buy more of them. So link to that will probably be in the description below, and I'm not sure about where you can get the Heltec devices, but you can get other devices that will do Meshtastic as well. Although I like this little Heltec because it's quite small, and also it has the connection on the back for the battery, which is, if I can just bring it in, just there. And it also lets you connect to Wi-Fi as well, so you don't have to connect that to your phone, but you can probably message through it from your phone through another Meshtastic node. Because I'm going to get another device to set up, possibly another of those Paradar antennas, because they seem to be quite good. But I'm going to try and build a ground plane antenna, and I'll do a video of that build when I get the parts to do it. So 7.3 for now, and I'll catch you in the next one.